Welcome to ColoradoSports.TV, bringing you Mayday Mayhem 2014 live from Loveland, Colorado. We are gearing up for this third place bout featuring the Sioux City Roller Dames taking on Ark Valley Highrollers. My name is Wilhelm Scream.
I'm Bulldog. I'll be bringing you the play-by-play. It looks like we are all set. Looks like Mo Payne jamming for Sioux City. First up, number 80 in the black. Ark Valley in the white with blue trim, fielding Charlie Bronson, number 15, jamming. But a three-wall up front. Mo Payne trying to get around Natty Dreadlock and Anita Hitabich. Do we have to censor that? I don't think so. This is on the web, so I think we're good to go. But Mo Payne gets out for lead jammer, knocking over Anita Hitabich on her way out. Charlie Bronson, barely stays upright, but steps out of bounds. Gonna have to recycle to get out. That was a nice hit. I believe that was Dubs, number 77, delivering the blow. Charlie Bronson still on her initial pass. Mo Payne getting through on a grand slam. First blood drawn by Sioux City. That's blood figuratively speaking. There was no actual blood, just in contrast to previous bouts. But Mo Payne's gets knocked out. Instead of recycling, she's gonna go ahead and call it off. Charlie Bronson was breathing down her neck, so she's gonna secure that +5 for Sioux City.
It was a good stiff defense being put on by Sioux City, holding back Charlie Bronson as long as they did, but she did eventually get free and was forced to, she forced Mo Payne to call that jam off before she could get any more than that initial 5. So we've got 28:40 left, and there's a score of 5-0, Sioux City.
Natty Dreadlock, number 420 in the penalty box for Ark Valley. So Sioux City with a 4-on-3 pack advantage. PBR, number 6, surrounded on 3 sides, squeezed to the inside line, gets out of that trap, but then gets caught up with Queen La Beacha and Killer B, but Killer B can't close the door. PBR gets through for lead jammer 2 times in a row for Sioux City. Shook Me All Night, number 30 for Ark Valley, behind all 4 Sioux City blockers, gets around each Schmidt and Canuck you up, runs into T Vicious and Dubs, gets slammed down and up, keeps going forward, gets around Dubs, completing her initial pass, but PBR, the jammer for Sioux City, on a scoring pass, just edges by Killer B, completing the pass for 4. Doesn't get the jammer point. Shook Me All Night did escape in time, but that's a +4 for Sioux City. Sioux City up to 9.
And that stiff defense again from Sioux City, really stifling so far the Ark Valley Jammers. We're going to see those same 4 blockers pretty regularly for Sioux City. Ark Valley also doing a good job slowing down PBR, only getting 4 points. Score is 9-0 Sioux City, 27-23 on the clock.
Yeah, Sioux City only has 9 skaters in this tournament, so they have to field every single body they have. But Ark Valley also skating a little short, only 12 skaters. Zoom Flume, number 5, this time getting out of the pack at first, calls off the jam. Mo Payne got out right behind her, but passed her up. But so Zoom Flume forced to call off the jam. Ark Valley continuing to struggle just to get on the board.
That was the first time that Ark Valley's gotten lead jam. It was a good effort being put on there for Zoom Flume to find her way through that black wall, but no result. 9-0, 26:42 left on the clock.
Charlie Bronson, number 15, jamming for Ark Valley against PBR, number 6 for Sioux City. Sioux City in the black jerseys, Ark Valley in the white. Ark Valley, of course, representing Chaffee County, Colorado. Sioux City from Iowa. Charlie Bronson, she got knocked out of bounds by Dubs, but Dubs gets a penalty. She's going to the box, out of play in the rear of the pack, and she's going to have to take the skate of shame because she was ahead of the line of no return. Going to have to take that extra lap. Charlie Bronson, lead jammer, PBR, about a half a lap behind. First scoring pass for Charlie Bronson, immediately repelled to the infield. Calls off the jam for 3, so Ark Valley on the board, 9-3. Sioux City still in the lead.
But Charlie Bronson ran into T Vicious as part of that Sioux City defense, but did pick up those 3 points. Ark Valley getting themselves on the board, only 6 points separating the 2 teams, now 9-3 with 25 minutes and 37 seconds left in this first half.
Shook Me All Night, number 30 for Ark Valley against number 80, Mo Payne. Led Betty leans in with a shoulder against Mo Payne. 3-wall at the back. Shook Me All Night looking over her right shoulder, making it a 4-wall briefly, but now just gets past T Vicious, but cleared out by E. Schmidt, number 8 of Sioux City. PBR, Mo Payne, the Sioux City Jammer, is lead, coming around for a scoring pass. Now we've got a sparse pack, a lot of skaters in the penalty box, but clearing out. For a while, there was 2 skaters from Arc City in the penalty box, 1 from Sioux City. Now there's just 1 skater from Sioux City, Canuck up in the penalty box. It will start out 4-on-3 pack advantage for Arc Valley.
Yeah, Sioux City getting another couple of points, opening that lead up a little more. One thing we're seeing already is that 2 jammer rotation that Sioux City did use earlier in the day when they were taking on Slaughterhouse, and ended up losing that one by 1. We'll see if it works to their advantage. 13-3, 24-25 left on the clock.
Number 6, PBR for Sioux City in the black. Struggling against the 4-wall. Arc Valley holding strong so far. We got Killer B, Anita Hit a Bitch, Led Betty, and Natty Dreadlock knocking PBR together out of bounds. She has to recycle just a little bit, and that buys time. Zoom Flume, number 5, getting out for lead jammer, and now she's got some distance. Not going to get forced to call it off. PBR fighting very strongly at the front. Oh, and Killer B falling down. That allows PBR to get free, but Zoom Flume getting into the back. Oh, Colin off the jam. Doesn't get any points. Rough. That was some tough luck for Zoom Flume of Arc Valley.
A pretty stiff defenses, strong walls being presented by both teams, making it hard for either jammer to get through. No one's really been able to put a lot of points on the board yet, and that's why we're still sitting at a 13-3 score. 23-25 left to go in this first half.
It looks like Charlie Bronson, number 15, jamming for Arc Valley. Going up against Mo Payne, number 80, once again. We see Mo Payne jam a lot so far. I think in this tournament she is clear top scorer for Sioux City. Overall, Charlie Bronson ricochets off a shoulder from T Vicious. Moves to the outside, is met by Canuck up. Gonna call off the jam. Gets 3 points, but Mo Payne steals 1 off the back. So a +2 for Arc Valley.
A quick move by Mo Payne at the end of that jam as it was being called off to make sure she snuck around, got that 1 from the back of the pack. That puts the score at 14-6. Sioux City still on top, 22-35 left in the first half.
Courtesy of Charlie Bronson.
Let's go over the roster next week. PBR number 6 jamming for Sioux City. And we got Shook Me All Night, number 30, jamming for Arc Valley. PBR going around the outside, her helped by her teammate Dubs, who locks the door and throws away the key, but falls down herself. Shook Me All Night long, getting pummeled now. First by Dubs, then by E. Schmidt, then a hit from T Vicious. Gets to the front, and Dubs is there again, forcing her out of bounds, and draws the cut. That's going to be Shook Me All Night going to the penalty box. PBR completing a first Grand Slam, and now on a power jam. First pass in the power jam for Sioux City. Queen LaBeacha and Mary Skankser, and now joined by Smasher to Smithereens in a delta wall. PBR jukes to the right, bounces off a hip from Smasher to pieces. Smasher to Smithereens and gets out for another Grand Slam. That's the first scoring pass of the power jam, second scoring pass of the overall jam. Gets around Smasher to Smithereens for a second power jam pass, third scoring pass in the jam just before Shook Me All Night gets out of the penalty box. Now PBR coming in for pass number 4. 15 points already for Sioux City. Queen LaBeacha comes in with a shoulder and just knocks PBR off balance. And she goes forward about 10 feet, but steps out of bounds, still on the momentum from that hit. So she had to recycle. Otherwise, she would have gotten a cutting the track penalty. Looking to complete that pass. Here comes Shook Me All Night. She touches the back of the pack, but Dubs is not going to let her by. Nothing for Arc Valley. They stay at 6 points, 20. Well, did she get any points on another pass? I have 20 points so far. Yes, 20 points for Sioux City. That brings them to 34.
And a quick one on the roster for the Sioux City Roller Dames. In the black jerseys, number 12, Rough and Tough. Number 18, Canuck You Up. 2, Little Pacifist. Number 5, T Vicious. Number 6, PBR. Number 77, Dubs. Number 79, Guillotina. Number 8, Eat Schmidt. Number 80, Mo Payne.
And there's Mo Payne, lead jammer, very quick around the outside, gets past Natty Dreadlock, number 420. We've got new jammer for Arc Valley, Nacho Sleaze, number 711, gets knocked to the infield, has to recycle behind T Vicious. Coming up again, T Vicious inverted, digs the shoulder into the sternum, but Nacho Sleaze slides by. That's a tongue twister. And she gets around Dubs as well to complete her initial pass, but there's Mo Payne through the pack, calls it off for 4. That brings Sioux City to 38.
And the Arc Valley roster in the white jerseys. 1,000, Smasher 2 Smithereens. 13, Soccer Balls. Number 15, Charlie Bronson. Number 2, Mary Skankster. Number 217, Anita Hitabitch. Number 30, Shook Me All Night. Number 40, Queen La Beacha. 420, Natty Dread. 454, Lead Betty. Number 5, Zoom Flume. Number 63, Killer Bee. Number 711, Nacho Sleaze.
And that's a misprint on our roster. It's actually Natty Dreadlock. Make a note of that. PBR number 6 at the back of the pack, right behind Charlie Bronson. And she recycled. That was a curious move. She recycled behind her own teammate, which should not have caused a penalty. But nevertheless, Charlie Bronson benefiting from that little stroke of luck, gets lead jammer and a half a lap ahead of PBR. Charlie Bronson with a lot of speed, comes around the outside, jogs to the inside. T Vicious cuts her off, knocks her out. She calls off the jam for 1 point. PBR not in time.
Now, Sioux City starting to pull away a little bit. Arc Valley looking to get that momentum, that bleeding stopped. Score currently 38-7. Sioux City up by 31 with 18 minutes and 10 seconds left to go in this first half between these two teams. Battle for third place here at Mayday Mayhem.
18 minutes left. We've got Zoom Flume, number 5, jamming for Arc Valley. Against Mo Payne, number 80. Mo Payne gets Zoom Flume out of bounds, draws her back, but Zoom Flume steps in, gets the cut, and now it's a power jam for Sioux City. Lead jammer to Mo Payne. Arc Valley doing it seems like they're taking T Vicious for a ride, trying to goat her in reverse, trying to keep her in front of them instead of behind, which is an interesting tactic. It does manage to move the pack a little bit forward, but inevitably sausage kicks in. Mo Payne getting around the Arc Valley defense, but only one scoring pass for Mo Payne on the power jam. Zoom Flume back in action, but still on her initial pass. 5 points so far. Mo Payne now on her second scoring pass for Sioux City, but Zoom Flume able to get away from the Sioux City defense, but right behind her is Mo Payne coming out, completing her second scoring pass, but does not get the jammer point. Zoom Flume got out in time, so only 4 more points for Sioux City. 9 points total, bringing them to 47. Arc Valley remains at 7 points.
It was a very good job by Arc Valley on their defense, really minimizing the damage that Mo Payne could do during that power jam. With jammers like Mo Payne and PBR, they're not jammers you really want to give a power jam to, so it's a really good job by Arc Valley to limit that to only one scoring pass. 47-7, 16:30 left to go.
Team captain for Arc Valley, Smasher to Smithereens, number 1,000 in the penalty box. 4-on-3 pack advantage for Sioux City, and PBR number 6, the jammer for Sioux City, gets out. She's lead. Charlie Bronson, number 15, our jammer for Arc Valley, gets smashed to the ground by T Vicious as PBR, the jammer for Sioux City, gets into the pack. Dodges around Nacho Sleaze, shakes off a shoulder from Soccer Balls, goes out of bounds, but Soccer Balls follows her out. PBR able to get all 5. Charlie Bronson completing her initial pass. PBR well ahead of her, enters the pack, runs into a 3-wall, doesn't get far, but calls it off. 1 more point for Sioux City. 6 points total, brings them to 53.
And one of the things we're noticing is just watching the Sioux City defense. Even when they're down one player, they currently are. They've got Eat Schmidt in the penalty box. even when down one player, they are still so good at recycling and waterfalling off of each other that it's really difficult for the Jammers to get through and get any points for Ark Valley. Score is 53-7 at 15 minutes and 15 seconds left in the first half.
Mo Payne, number 80, slams a shoulder into an inverted Killer B, knocking her backwards, causes a pile up, and Mo Payne picks herself up very quickly, gets past the shaky wall at the front. Ark Valley did not have time to stiffen up, and now Mo Payne is lead jammer. Number 30, Shook Me All Night for Ark City, just has to get past Dubs the hard way. But she completes her initial pass. Now Mo Payne driven out of bounds by Queen LaBeacha, but comes right back in, streaks to the front of the pack. Doesn't get all the way, but is going to pick up 3 points. Calls it off in time. Once again, Ark Valley coming up empty.
Just getting ahead and making sure to get that call off. It really looked like Ark Valley was about to grab some points on that. Unable to do so. The score is 56-7. We've got a timeout at 14:35. You are watching ColoradoSports.TV. If you've been enjoying the Derby being brought to you all weekend long on this stream, feel free to go ahead, click that donate link in the bottom right-hand corner. Throw a couple of bucks our way. Help defray the costs of streaming. After all, it is not free to bring this service to you. And it'll help ensure that ColoradoSports.TV is able to continue to bring you these fantastic events year-round and across the globe.
I guarantee you that. But right now, in a bit of a hole.
I'd also like to give a shout out to Sticker Giant, the custom sticker experts, official sticker company of ColoradoSports.TV. Check them out at www.stickergiant.com and use the code RollerDerby at checkout. Get 10% off of your order.
Presented by Xerox Commercial Solutions, now hiring in Greeley.
Now looking at some of the stats so far, Sioux City, the only team that's gotten any power jams. They've gotten 2 of them, 20 points, but 15 of those points came with PBR on the power jam. Mo Payne only able to get 5.
BlackjackPizza.com and on Facebook. Search for Blackjack Greeley. Back to the action, 14:35.
Once again, 14:35 left in this first half, 56-7, Sioux City on top.
In fact, so far, only Mo Payne and PBR, they've just been trading jammer positions for Sioux City. So the workhorse, those two are the workhorses. And speaking of work, man, PBR just leaning into the plow right now. Killer B gets in front of her, and PBR scrambles back up. Gets past Anita Hidovich and Killer B. She had to fight for that one and gets a no pass, no penalty. Doesn't get lead jammer Charlie Bronson coming up out a quarter lap behind, but is able to call off the jam. So all that hard work for nothing. PBR not going to get around in time.
Some very good awareness of jammer positioning by Charlie Bronson, realizing that there was just no way she was going to catch up to the pack and wanting to make sure that Sioux City didn't pull away any further. Just calling off that jam very quickly. 56-7, 13:42 left on the first period clock.
If you shook me all night, if you Zoom flew, if you're Nacho Sleaze.
That's Nacho Sleaze, number 711, jamming for Ark Valley. And once again, continuing the 2-jammer rotation. Mo Payne in the front, a 3-wall in front of her. Now it's a 2-wall. Soccer balls and smasher to smithereens can't stay in front. They go wide, and Mo Payne is lead jammer. Nacho Sleaze up front, gets a hip check, shakes off a hip check from Eat Schmidt, but can't get past T Vicious. Ricochets off, goes out of bounds, and has to come back to turn 2. Still on her initial pass, but Mo Payne gets a cutting the track. It's a power jam for Ark Valley, their first power jam of the game. But Nacho Sleaze still on her initial pass and having to lean and having to put all of her effort in just to get to the end of that engagement zone, finally doing so. But of course, Mo Payne was already lead jammer, so no one controls the clock now. We'll go the full 2 minutes, and this is the first scoring pass of the power jam. Now, Mo Payne was already on her first scoring pass and potentially has gotten that jammer point already, so she could have up to 5 points already, but Nacho Sleaze now definitely has 5 points on her first pass. Back to the pack again, a quick circuit, and runs into that same 4-wall. Eat Schmidt and Canucku up in the center. Dubs on point, comes across with a shoulder and gets Nacho Sleaze out of bounds. Mo Payne completing her first scoring pass, avoids a hip from Queen LaBeacha, gets out, and is that, I can't see the thumb. It's sideways. No, only 4 points for Mo Payne. Did not get the jammer point off of Nacho Sleaze before she went to the penalty box. So now it's a 5-4 jam. Nacho Sleaze sneaks through, squeeze between T Vicious and Dubs to get out a second time. and does get a grand slam again. 10 points so far for Ark Valley. This is turning out to be a big jam for Ark Valley. Third scoring pass, but Dubs knocking her out with a shoulder. Mopane coming around on her second scoring pass. Oh, third scoring pass, excuse me. Mopane already got a 4. She may have beaten Nacho Sleeves. I think she does. She got a grand slam on that third scoring pass, bringing her to 14 points. One more point for Ark Valley brings them to 11. So in spite of giving up a power jam, Sioux City still winning the jam by 3 points.
And in that power jam, that was the first time that a skater other than Charlie Bronson jamming for Ark Valley was able to put points on the board. And it's been rare for Ark Valley to get points. We do have a timeout being called by Sioux City. As I was saying, only 2 of the jammers for Ark Valley have been able to put up any points so far, and it's been single jams for Nacho Sleeves to get points. Charlie Bronson has gotten points in 3 jams, but they've been small, a 1-point jam and then 2 3-point jams. Otherwise, there's a lot of zeros on the board on the Ark Valley side. The score is currently 70-18 with 11:01 left to go. And split between PBR and Mopane, relatively even on the scoring so far. Mopane holding 40 of the points, PBR putting up 30 of the points at this point in the game.
It's been a long weekend for those that
I have to give a big mention to RD Nation, a smarter way to derby. Bringing roller derby to the masses. We help leagues manage themselves better so they can skate more. Download the free software at rdnation.com.
Mopane right now with 40 points, BBR with 30 points. Nobody else on Sioux City to talk about because there's nobody else that's jammed for them. Mopane.
The largest jam so far for any of the skaters, owned by PBR, who got 20 points in one jam that was assisted by a power play. Largest jam for Ark Valley was that jam just completed by Nacho Sleeves, 11 points.
That ends the timeout, and PBR quick up the inside, gets out lead jammer, goes to Sioux City. Shook Me All Night just knocks Dubs out of the way with a shoulder check and almost does the same to eat Schmidt. Schmidt off balance, almost falling down. So Shook Me All Night coming through very aggressively. And PBR not getting far. She is going to get 3 points, but just barely even got into the back. But she just has to get those hips ahead, even for a fraction of a second, to get those points. 3-0 Sioux City.
And PBR with her head on a swivel, seeing that Shook Me All Night was sneaking up on the pack, wanted to make sure to keep that goose egg on Shook Me All Night's personal stat sheet, calling off that jam. 73-18, 10 minutes, 15 seconds left in this first half.
Mopane, number 80 for Sioux City, into a maelstrom of Ark Valley blockers, a whirlwind surrounding her of white. But she forges ahead, now one-on-one with Natty Dreadlock, she's gonna get I'm looking for a forearm penalty. And that's going to be a power jam. She had to work for it. Ark Valley earned that one, though. Well, they didn't earn a forearm, but they did earn some breathing room right there. The Ark Valley defense really strong at the start of that jam. Charlie Bronson now lead jammer on her first scoring pass. This is only the second power jam, but Charlie Bronson slammed down to the ground. I think that was Dubs that came in, but she gets a low block penalty. Low block penalty against Ark Valley jammer Charlie Bronson releases Mopane, number 80, the Sioux City jammer. We have a jammer swap out. Charlie Bronson serving a shortened penalty. But right now, power jam for Mopane and no trouble at all. But just completing her initial pass. Charlie Bronson of Ark Valley was on a scoring pass, so already may have some points in her pocket. But Mopane now on a scoring pass, and a quick juke to the inside gets around all 4 blockers. They were clustered, but favoring the outside lane. Mopane, such a fantastically dynamic and agile skater. There's a good reason why she's the top scorer for Sioux City, and she showed it just then. Now on her second scoring pass, already with 5. But Charlie Bronson gets through the pack, completing her scoring pass, matching those 5 points. But now look, moving into the second scoring pass. Slow runs into an immovable object of T Vicious, but she recovers quickly. Mo Payne repelled to the infield, has to recycle, start all over again, and now Charlie Bronson in the lead, gets out first, but Mo Payne did get all 4 points, so it ends up a tie after all of that. Trading power jams, and ends up 9-9.
A little bit of a difference in the strategy between the two teams in how they're playing defense. It looks like Arc Valley is really focusing on trying to form a strong wall to hold the jammer back. And Sioux City, they're forming a wall, but they're letting their blockers peel off and attack the jammer one-on-one each time. And when you've got blockers like T Vicious and Dubs, it's just hard to get past them. 82-27 with 7.5 to go.
PBR now jamming. That was I saw that coming. What do you think? Number 6, PBR powering ahead, gets around. Zoom Flume, number 5, last line of defense, but PBR is lead jammer. And there goes a Shook Me All Night. Number 30 for Arc Valley gets out. PBR in the thick of it. Gets out just in time. I don't think she was even looking. Shook Me All Night was so close, but it got called off in time. 4-0 Sioux City.
Yeah, PBR just put her head down, went around on the outside, grabbed those 4 points, and happened to get the call off done just before Shook Me All Night kept past that last line of the wall. Still a goose egg for Shook Me All Night. 86-27. 6 minutes 45 seconds left to go in the first half.
This is the third place game for the women's tournament, the WFTDA game. Every single one of these games is a WFTDA sanctioned game in this entire weekend. And all the men's games are MRDA certified, sanctioned. Mo Payne now at the front of the pack, but gets another forearm, same as she got last time. So it's another power jam for Charlie Bronson, same jammer that was jamming on the last power jam the last time Mo Payne went to the box. Lead jammer now, Charlie Bronson, hits the pack on her first scoring pass of the power jam. A cluster of Sioux City blockers meet you, and they are some tough customers. Dubs knocking her out, recycling her back, but she comes back in the safety of her teammates. Smash her to smithereens, trying to break up the wall. Nice job. T Vicious tried to cut across with a hip, but Charlie Bronson managed to avoid it, gets the grand slam, but she had that took a lot of time off of Mo Payne's penalty. Mo Payne returning to the track just as Charlie Bronson whips her around, smashed her to smithereens, and bounces off a shoulder check from Dubs and gets through. Second grand slam, 10 points so far for Arc Valley. Mo Payne now still on her initial pass. Knocks down Queen LaBeach on her way past. Zoom Flume, number 5 of Arc Valley, trying to get her, but Mo Payne outraces her. But Charlie Bronson gets through number 3, 4 more points, and it's a 14-0 jam for Arc Valley, their best jam so far.
It was a great seal-off by Smasher to smithereens, just opening up that hole, pushing aside the impressive Sioux City defense. Great play, giving that jammer that opening, allowing her to pick up the full 5 points. We've got a score of 86-41. Sioux City still on top, just under 5 minutes left in this first half.
Guess who? It's PBR jamming for Sioux City. Arc Valley with a tight 4-wall on the inside. Now it's switching into a delta with a leg. I don't know. I'm just making things up now. But they're still in a cluster. They have one skater in the front, led Betty, managing. She's I've also heard it called the puppet master position. But they put a stop to PBR and allow Shook Me All Night to get out. She's lead jammer. PBR, though, sees her going and puts that extra bit of effort to get around Natty Dreadlock, and she's free and clear. But here's Shook Me All Night on a scoring pass, knocked to the edge by T Vicious and cleared out by a huge hip check from Dubs. He also gets a cutting the track, adding insult to injury. Well, let's hope insult to a big hit, let's say. PBR now in control. Not the lead jammer. That was Shook Me All Night. She loses that going to the penalty box. But PBR putting on her first scoring pass.
PBR works her way through there for another 5 points.
Well, PBR comes through, comes up with another 5 for Sioux City. And that's the end of the power jam. We got Shook Me All Night coming in. She is on a scoring pass, trying to complete that first scoring pass, but gets another cut right back to the penalty box. The Arc Valley Jammer is going to have to cool her wheels for another 30 seconds, and PBR gets another free shot. Now, way out ahead, Natty Dreadlock and Lead Betty have to back off, and it's another 5 points for PBR of Sioux City.
Moving through the
PBR moves in again, yet another scoring pass. Nice hips from Anita Hidabich, but PBR gets past, runs into Lead Betty, who falls over. And I saw an illegal procedure called. Looks like PBR heading to the penalty box, but Shook Me All Night was standing up, so she'll be released from the penalty box. And PBR will be, she'll be released at the first whistle. PBR will be serving a shortened penalty.
Yeah, PBR making contact after that whistle, picking up that illegal procedure. And looks like there's just some checking being done. But there was some big hits out there, including one from Dubs, which was shortly after. There's an official review going on. They're going to make sure they've got everything correct. That big hit from Dubs, shortly after Dubs, looked like she was confident that Shook Me All Night had actually stepped off the track and come back on. Dubs thought she'd lured her into an intentional, lured in a track cut. Was not what happened at that time. So we've got Sioux City is challenging right now. It's an official review.
Goes back to the penalty box. I mean, let me tell you something.
We've currently got a score, but the clock stopped. 2:13 left in the first half. The score is 105-43. Sioux City on top. But one of the things that Sioux City might have to watch out for, they're only using a 2-jammer rotation, and I know that Mo Payne has picked up at least 3 penalties herself, so they might have to keep an eye on how she's doing with regards to penalties. You know, if she ends up picking up her 7th, who's going to step up? Because they can't just have PBR jam every single jam.
Scorer also for Sioux City with 49 points. Third on the board, but we got to go over the Oak Valley side.
Sioux City currently holding that 62-point lead. They've pretty much grabbed a stranglehold on it so far in the first half, not really relinquishing it. They've had lead jam status just slightly more than Arc Valley at 10-8. Both teams have had the same number of power jams. Sioux City converting better. They've got 39 points on the power jam compared to 15. But neither of those power jam results and the points that have been picked up are really all that huge. So it's been pretty good defenses by both teams when they're on the penalty kill, limiting the amount of points that can be picked up by the power jam.
So official review.
That may not be right. What was the official review? We got both jammers in the box right now. We're going to start on 0.
Hold on, we're listening to find out what the official review is about.
What was the challenge?
Turns out they were challenging that late hit that did occur.
All right,
the late hit call is upstanding. So the call stands, no change, both jammers in the box.
All right, but the clock frozen at 1 minute 58 seconds at the start, a whistle, and immediately Shook Me All Night going back to the box.
Yeah, that releases PBR. Did not quite see what the call was. Looked like an illegal procedure for leaving the box a little too early.
Well, PBR was already serving a shortened penalty, and she signaled herself lead jammer briefly. But yeah, it shook me all night.
It's a little more exciting now.
Coming out very quickly.
We've got jammers and blockers, and we're all moving.
Shook me all night now on her initial pass. PBR on a first scoring pass. Power jam is over.
This is what we came here to see. PBR gets recycled out through the back of the pack.
Now, technically, I think that may have been a mistake. Of course, no one in the auditorium can hear this, but I think that PBR was serving a shortened penalty. But it looked from here like Shook Me All Night only served about 10 seconds. I think they may have mistakenly made it a swap out. But however, the game in play, and that is actually on Sioux City to argue that. not for us to tell them to do that or anyone else other than Sioux City. So if they don't challenge that penalty, well then she'll stay on the track. No harm, no harm, no foul, or well, no foul anyway. PBR inverted and just completely, slowing down. Shook me all night, getting some revenge. She's not going to take it lightly, but PBR, a great defender. We've seen her in other games playing defense. She did not jam quite this much in previous games that I saw her in. However, now she's on a regular two jammer rotation, but she is a powerful blocker in her own right.
Well, that's the benefit of having someone that can jam and block very effectively for both teams, or for both their position. If they can do both, then they're that much more effective in any one position. Allows the jammer to step back and play defense if she is also a strong defender. We are at halftime. The score 110, Sioux City, Ark Valley 43. Sioux City's just kind of been pouring on the points so far and doing it, a lot of it just even strength. Being able to really put that extra time and extra points up on the board. Ark Valley's got a lot of ground to make up if they're looking to get back into this game.
And now we are going to have a short 5-minute halftime. We'll be back very quickly. But so far, a big game for Sioux City. Ark Valley struggling, but we'll see you back here in 5 more minutes.
Sticker Giant helps people make great stickers. I'm John Fisher, and I started the company. Every sticker has a story behind it. Every sticker has something behind it besides just stickiness.
People seem to flock towards stickers no matter what they are all about.
It's a portable billboard. It can go anywhere.
Seeing stickers on little girls' foreheads.
Cars, motorcycles.
Stop signs, we don't endorse that.
Baby bottoms.
I see stickers everywhere. I see stickers in my dreams.
We're a small little group of people, and we all kind of have the same vision for success.
Every person is quality minded, top to bottom. We're about getting the job done right.
The quality of Sticker Giant stickers is really fantastic. We run 3 different materials here. All of them were researched to find the best possible thing we can get.
We can get your email and process your stickers in 24 hours and get them out to you.
We try and do things quickly, we try and do them accurately, and we try and get people the stickers that they want. People ask me what I do, and I go, we make stickers all day. There's this company in rural Boulder County, and all they do is make stickers and labels. What makes Sticker Giant a great sticker? What the customer wants, because we can print any kind of sticker. Every day there's a sticker to where I see it, and I just want to know the story behind it. I want to know the company. I want to talk to the owner.
We take people's passions, things that they're really fired up about. We make it over and over and over so those people can tell their story to the world.
Welcome back to ColoradoSports.TV, bringing you Mayday Mayhem live from beautiful Loveland, Colorado. This is once again the 3rd place bout between the Sioux City Roller Dames and the Ark Valley Highrollers. Going through that roster for Sioux City one more time. Number 12, Rough and Tough. Number 18, Canuck You Up. Number 2, Little Pacifist. Number 5, T Vicious. Number 6, PBR. Number 77, Dubs. Number 79, Guillotina. Number 8, Eat Schmidt. Number 80, Mo Payne. And the Ark Valley Highrollers, their roster: 1,000, Smash It to Smithereens. Number 13, Soccer Balls. Number 15, Charlie Bronson. Number 2, Mary Skankster. Number 217, Anita Hit a Bitch. Number 30, Shook Me All Night. Number 40, Queen LaBeacha. Number 420, Natty Dreadlock. 454, Lead Betty. 5, Zoom Flume. 63, Killer Bee. And 711, Nacho Sleeves. Sioux City in black, Ark Valley in white. The score is 110 to 43 at the half.
Charlie Bronson, number 15, jamming for Ark Valley at the back, getting pummeled by Dubs, but gets around with a little help from Killer B. But there goes Mo Payne. No, she gets a cutting the track. Another cutting the track. That is, she's gotten forearms. She's gotten cutting the track. I think all of the power gems given up, except for one by Sioux City, has been Mo Payne. And it's just been these technical penalties. A couple of forearms, a couple of cutting the tracks. Charlie Bronson still on her initial pass, though. Tough defense from Sioux City. I mean, there is no other word for it. These ladies just coming. These ladies on Sioux City. We got T Vicious, Dubs, Eat Schmidt, Canuck You Up, and well, pretty much all of them. And they are just some. They are just some tough ladies, and they hit hard, and they're everywhere. And there you see it. Charlie Bronson almost thought she had it, but Dubs was just able to muscle her down to the ground with a shoulder check. Budgie Doe now getting a penalty. Did not see the call, the actual signal for what the penalty was, but Dubs going to the penalty box. But Ark Valley is able to get 8 points on the board.
Yeah, some good strong jamming there by Charlie Bronson, actually coming through and counter blocking that front wall from Sioux City, getting through, completing that scoring pass. He's got a score of 110 to 51, 28 minutes and 20 seconds left to go.
No, but Sioux City has just been putting on a blocking clinic this entire game. And now PBR jamming once again for Sioux City. Mo Payne was able to get out of the penalty box before Charlie Branson called off the jam. So PBR, though, now against a 3-wall. Anita Hitabich dropping back to bridge. PBR knocks Led Betty off to the side. Led Betty getting a penalty into the bargain. But that bought a lot of time. Zoom Flume, number 5 for Ark Valley, getting in, and now PBR moving into the defensive stance. And I would hate to be Zoom Flume right now. I think I would expect I have no idea what's going through Zoom Flume's mind when she sees PBR turn around, and PBR just like kind of adjusts her elbow guards like she's rolling up her sleeves, getting ready. I was like, okay, time to go to work. It's time to rumble. And there she is. She's just going to take some time off the clock. Right now, the clock is Sioux City's friend.
Yeah, Sioux City is really, they've decided they're going to step back and play a defensive game. They've got points that they feel like they can just ride out the score as it is, and stepping back and playing defense. And with PBR out there, they're just going to kill off a lot of clock. Good clock management by the Sioux City Roller Dames to keep that score.
Now Zoom Flume lucky that she went out of bounds on the inside, because if she had gone on the outside, had to take the long way around, PBR could easily have fed her back into the pack. And the Sioux City blockers, they were chomping at the bit, drooling at the mouth, wanting to take control of this jammer and put her through another gauntlet of Sioux City blockers. But right now, Zoom Flume has her hands full just with PBR, but now finally manages to squeeze by. And, of course, PBR just goes ahead and calls it off.
Well, that shows the benefit of getting that lead jammer status. Is you can milk the clock for as long as you can. When you're such a good blocker like PBR is, you can just keep delaying that time. And once the other jammer finally gets around, you can just easily call it off before they can even get up to the pack and get any points. Score is 110 to 51, 26 minutes and 5 seconds left in the second half.
26:04, 3, 2, and 1 on the clock. We're ready to rock and roll.
So no points on that jam for PBR, of course. She did not get around. So nice work by Zoom Flume on that score. She was able to get out in time, but now Nacho Sleaze, number 7-11, jamming for Ark Valley, knocked out by Dubs. Recycles back far enough, but Mo Payne cut off by Shook Me All Night. Now on the outside lane, Shook Me All Night once again. Up front, Nacho Sleaze, the Ark Valley jammer in the white jersey, gets lead jammer. Mo Payne, I think possibly being a little more cautious. She's gotten quite a few penalties in the recent jams. So maybe that's because normally she was a lot more explosive getting through the pack. but was starting to pay the price. Nacho Sleaze, though, gets hit to the ground, smacked down, calls off the jam from the ground, does call it off in time, 3-0 Arc Valley.
Yeah, big hit from Dubs at the front of that wall, just throwing her to the ground. Got to give a lot of credit and paid a lot of attention to the Sioux City Roller Dames and their endurance. They've only been using 2 jammers, but they've also been pretty much using the same 4 blockers over and over again. A new blocker coming in now, that is Guillotina coming in, and we're going to let Dubs take a breather. 110-54, 24-45 left.
PBR leaning into a 4-wall of Arc Valley. Charlie Bronson getting the same treatment from Sioux City. Actually, the same treatment Sioux City has been giving all of the Arc Valley jammers. Knocked down to the ground. Her knee did touch out of bounds, so she did the correct thing, got out of bounds, and made sure the pack was past her. And now fights her way up the inside, but, oh, this time can't avoid the cutting the track. And she goes to the penalty box anyway, just a little later than if she had cut the track before. PBR now on the power jam. First scoring pass successful, 5 points.
Yeah, it's allowing PBR to show that she is both an offensive and defensive player, stepping forward. And she didn't look like she was intent on sitting back and playing blocker this time around. Was gunning for points the entire time. Going to try and take advantage of this power jam. But Arc Valley's defense just trying to stifle her right now.
Smash it to Smithereens, holding her back. She's flanked by Soccer Balls and Queen LaBeacha, but PBR fighting her way through. Charlie Bronson back on the track and finds a little opening on the inside. T Vicious tries to square her off, but Charlie Bronson dodges to the outside, gets through, but to no avail. PBR calling off the jam as we knew she would.
That PBR should just once again showing off her derby intelligence and that pack awareness, that jammer awareness, making sure that she can keep Arc Valley from getting any points, 11 points of her own. That makes the score 121-54. 23 minutes and 15 seconds left in the second half of this third place bout.
5 on 5 on the track. Mo Payne back on the jammer line against Zoom Flume, number 5 for Arc Valley. Familiar story. 4-wall of Sioux City at the back, but Mo Payne around the outside. She counters, checks a shoulder from Anita Hitovich and gets out of the pack. Lead jammer for Sioux City. Zoom Flume too fast for Each Schmidt. Each Schmidt runs out of room at the end of the engagement zone, but Zoom Flume still has a long way to go. Mo Payne just has to look behind her, but she doesn't. Zoom Flume gets into the pack. She's going to take some points on this one. Perfect shoulder check from Anita Hitovich, clearing Each Schmidt out. Yeah, she knows she did it. She did good. Zoom Flume giving her some high five action. That was a beautiful, beautiful screen by Anita Hitovich. Great teamwork. And you can see she's still smiling. I'm very happy about that.
And some good teamwork overall by Arc Valley. Not only did they keep Mo Payne from getting too many points, but they allowed Zoom Flume to catch up and grab 4 of her own, keeping it a 4-4 jam, 125-58, 21 minutes and 58 seconds to go.
PBR once again for Sioux City. Charlie Bronson sneak attack. Steve Vicious relentless, but finally Charlie Bronson able to hang on. Doesn't go out of bounds and gets lead jammer, but PBR does go and gets a cutting the track penalty. She's followed to the penalty box by Killer B, number 63. That means it's going to be a 4-on-3 power jam for Sioux City in the pack, but they are trying to kill the penalty. Charlie Bronson already with a grand slam. Now hits the pack on scoring pass number 2. As always, a tough defense from Sioux City. Each Schmidt leans in, making contact. Canuck you up, comes across, knocking Charlie Bronson to the ground. Charlie Bronson saying, hey, she hit me with a forearm, and the referees agree. Canuck you up, going to the box. So that's a 3-on-3 pack. Charlie Bronson still on scoring pass number 2, though barely squeezes by Each Schmidt. Jukes to the inside of T Vicious, completes the pass for another 5. That's 10 points for Arc Valley. And now PBR coming in. She is on her initial pass, though. Gets knocked out by Anita Hitovich, number 217. Once again, powerhouse blocker right now. You wouldn't think it with that thin frame. And now just a good catches PBR off balance that time, knocking her down. But PBR having the toughest jam I've seen yet. She had Arc Valley all over her, and now Killer B coming across with sternum checks and lead. Betty following her. and PBR just taking a beating. How is she getting up after all of those hits? Natty Dreadlock going to the penalty box. That's going to be good news for PBR, but the pummeling continues. Led Betty with repeated sternum checks, and PBR has got to be feeling that. She's going to need some kind of headache medicine tonight. Charlie Bronson coming around, gets 20 points. That Ark Valley coming alive in this jam.
And it really looked like a different strategy Ark Valley was using in that jam. Instead of forming that strong wall, they just decided they were all going to take turns. As soon as one of them hit the jammer, there was another one lined up to make contact, and just a domino effect of blockers hitting jammers over and over and over again. That puts the score at 125 to 78. Sioux City still on top. Ark Valley back in at 19-26.
Ark Valley pulling out all the stops. They've got 20 minutes left to get back into this game, and they are starting to taste. They want something, but Mo Payne dodges past all of the blockers. They're not going to give the same treatment that they got against PBR. Not this time anyway. Mo Payne gets lead jammer. But there goes Nacho Sleaze getting out of the pack. She had a big smile on her face. And Mo Payne, though, colliding heavy into Queen La Bicha. Goes back to her bench, gets 4 points. Happy with that one, but not. Well, now I see her getting up. Okay. Sorry, I saw her jump back up after someone came and talked to her. I was like, well, maybe she's going to the penalty box. But no, the referees say it was a clean hit.
And once again, we're seeing those same blockers being used. Quick water being given during the reset time. 129 to 78. 18:20 to go.
And now, this isn't too much of a surprise. Sioux City not putting PBR back in right away. Lil Pacifist taking her first turn at jammer in this game. And now Ark Valley all over. Lil Pacifist leans into Queen La Bicha, knocks her down, goes down herself, pops right back up. Queen La Bicha comes around, gets in front of her, comes to the side, knocks her down. But Lil Pacifist, this bundle of energy all over the place. But so far, Ark Valley holding steady. The 3-wall in the front. Soccer balls, Killer B, and Smasher to Smithereens. But we've got a multiplayer block called on Smasher to Smithereens. But they get Lil Pacifist out of the track, and she has to recycle back behind the pack. And I can't even see who is that jamming. Zoom Flume, number 5 for Ark Valley, getting the same treatment from Sioux City, though. She's way at the back. And Lil Pacifist finally getting around Ark Valley. Queen La Bicha making last contact, but Lil Pacifist is lead jammer. Zoom Flume getting away from Dubs, number 77 of Sioux City. But Lil Pacifist on a scoring pass. All right, here a whistle, and it's a back block. Back block on who? It is on the jammer, Lil Pacifist, so no more lead jammer for Sioux City, and it's a power jam for Zoom Flume. She's got 5 already. Now, of course, Lil Pacifist was on a scoring pass, so we're waiting to see what her score was, or possibly to finish that scoring pass. But here comes scoring pass number 2 for Ark Valley. Rough and tough, last line of defense. Whiffs with a shoulder check, just makes a glancing blow, sends Zoom Flume off balance, but she just keeps on going, gets a second grand slam. Scoring pass number 3. Time runs out, though. She's not going to get past any of the Sioux City blockers, so settles for 10 points in that jam.
Sioux City is starting to rotate some other players in, and it's leading to a little bit of a different result that's happening. We're seeing Ark Valley get a little bit more of an advantage with those different skaters out on the track. But Sioux City still having their core out. The score is 129 to 88, 15-50 left in the second half.
And no points for Lil Pacifist. I was keeping an eye out for the jam rep, but nope, she gets a donut for all that effort. Now is Charlie Bronson starting out on the power jam. Falls down, but gets right back up. Dubs goes to the penalty box. Dubs was the one who delivered the hit, and I saw Charlie Bronson's hand land out of bounds. So technically, that could have been a cut because she was on the momentum from that hit. But Dubs going to the penalty box negated that, cutting the track. so she comes up clean. But that was a little bit of a risky move, popping right back up. When you see your hand land out of bounds, you can get that technical penalty, and that always, well, there's no other word for it. That always sucks. But are we allowed to say that? Is that a censored word? Grand slam on the first scoring pass for Chuck. No, Charlie Bronson. Not Chuck. Charlie. Well, she lets me call her Chuck. But to you guys, it's Charlie Bronson, number 15 of Ark Valley. There she goes, number 2. A little bit of, I saw her crack a little bit of a smile, but this jammer usually fairly taciturn, very focused, and now comes in and just gets a huge, they're calling it a high block, and Charlie Bronson gets up holding her jaw. But Dubs now going to the penalty box. That was a tough shoulder check coming up. But Charlie Bronson now gets a forearm penalty, now has to sit right next to the skater who just gave her that shot to the jaw. But, you know, probably, but, you know, we'll see. Keep one eye over there, see if there's any words. But actually, most of these skaters, they're very intense, but there's a lot of sportsmanship in spite of all the rough and tumble stuff that's going on right now.
And it looks like we do actually have a star pass that's going on. Each Schmidt now with the star on her helmet. Little Pacifist was just not finding any luck getting through that Ark Valley wall, so we have a new jammer out for Sioux City.
Each Schmidt now the scorer for Sioux City as the jam time runs out.
The score currently standing 132-98. Sioux City on top. Charlie Bronson, the lead scorer for Ark Valley, and almost the lead scorer in the game. She is 4 points behind PBR. PBR has put up 72 so far. Charlie Bronson with 68. We are entering an official timeout. To let you know, I did read Dubs' lips as Charlie Bronson came around into the penalty box, and the first thing that Dubs said is, "Are you okay?"
That's about what I expect. You know, there's such great sportsmanship all weekend. These teams are really happy to be here, really loving to be working in a tournament. These are all teams that don't normally get to play in the big tournaments that are out there. These are all Division II and Division III teams. So, you know, they're just thrilled to be here, and all week long we've seen nothing but love and respect between all these athletes.
And, you know, it's been an international affair. There's been teams from Canada and, of course, Nidaros all the way from Trondheim. You know, and we're bringing it to you live across the planet on the interwebs. They're right here from ColoradoSports.TV. There is a donate button if you want to give a couple dollars to help defray the cost of the stream. We would definitely appreciate it. We are, that donate button is right in the bottom right hand of the screen. Now, obviously, streaming is not free, so anything you can give to help us out would be fantastic.
All right, that official review was Ark Valley challenging the legality of the Star Pass. The Star Pass must be in bounds, and they believe that they saw each Schmidt putting on the star cover out of bounds. However, the legality is based on when the star is actually transferred. The referees say the star was passed to each Schmidt while both she and the jammer were in bounds, even though she went out of bounds and then put on the star cover. However, it was a legal transfer as of the newest rule set for certain. Newest rule sets that just came out in March says that the star pass is completed the instant the pivot takes the star pass from the jammer, not when she has it on her head.
Yeah, she'll become an ineligible jammer, won't be able to score any points until that star is on the helmet with the stars showing out. But she becomes the jammer, and so that's when the transition occurs. And one of the benefits of the new rule change, along with the 30-second penalties, 132-98, Sioux City on top.
Everybody else kind of looking.
So still 132-98, Sioux City still hanging on to a lead, but Ark Valley has taken a big bite out of it. Charlie Bronson jamming for Ark Valley, looking for the inside lane, trips over her own skater though. Shocker balls had fallen down, and Charlie Bronson almost fell down with her, but it slowed her down enough. PBR able to get a big smile over to, I don't know who, I think she was smiling at the in-house commentators as she went by. But, you know, that is one tough skater. She took such a beating. took a little bit of a break, took 3 jams off, but is now back in spirits and looking strong. Takes a big hit from Smasher to Smithereens, number 1,000, team captain for Ark Valley, but keeps on going, but just not hardly making any progress into the pack. Ark Valley holding strong, just impenetrable so far. But now Charlie Bronson gets out of the pack, and that frees up the Sioux City blockers to help out their jammer, instantly breaking up that wall, disintegrating it, and TBR finally completing the pass for a grand slam.
And Charlie Bronson once again running into that 4 wall that we are so used to seeing from Sioux City with Dubs, T-Vicious, Canuck you up, and it's just been such a stiff wall, each making up that 4th part. And once again, just could not solve it. Could not get through. The score is 137-98 with just over 11 minutes to go.
Propane gym for the Sioux City Roller Dames. Zoom Flume is the jammer for Ark Valley.
This is bad news for Ark Valley's jammer, Zoom Flume. She got knocked out of bounds by Mo Payne, and she's on the outside. So now Mo Payne can just linger at the front of the pack. Of course, she still has not completed her initial pass. However, this is Zoom Flume between a rock and a hard place, so to speak. She can, if she comes back in ahead of Mo Payne, she will go to the penalty box. If she comes back, she will come in behind. Now, Mo Payne just in a 5-wall formation, and she has successfully fed Zoom Flume with a soul crush. It's a feed the baby on the initial pass. This sets Mo Payne up for a potential 6-point pass. Now, right now, she is lapping Zoom Flume. If she can get by, but Zoom Flume gets away with it. But, of course, Mo Payne is a lap ahead. So this is a potential 5-point pass if she can complete it. Not going to get the 6-point, not going to get that unicorn pass, as they say, where you get 6 points. That's where it's really just a delayed jammer point that delays until your first scoring pass is completed. So it's actually 2 separate passes. However, it's reported on the same pass. But I don't think it's going to work out for Mo Payne. I don't think she got ahead, but that we're going to see from what the referee reports. But he's only reporting 3, so it's impossible to tell whether she got the jammer point or not. But nevertheless, a 3-0 jam for Sioux City, and took a lot of time off the clock.
And that was the difficulty that Ark Valley was in, is don't want to give up that 6-point pass, don't want to go into a negative lap, but we're down. The clock is our enemy, and if we just stand here, we're letting Sioux City take more of that clock down. The score is now 140-98, and 9 minutes left.
That's what you're talking about.
I love Derby fan.
Here we've got Nacho Sleeves, number 711, jamming for Ark Valley in the white jerseys. PBR number 6 bashing her way with those shoulders, but stumbles. I think she got tangled up with Canuck You Up, both skaters falling down. That was her teammate, so no penalty will be issued. You can do whatever you like with your teammates. But Nacho Sleeves getting out of the back first, she's lead jammer. PBR used to being in that position. Now she's playing catch-up. Nacho Sleeves on a scoring pass, grabs Led Betty's shirt, whips around, slams into Dubs, but bounces off and slides past.
Yeah, using that quick hit it and quit it strategy of getting the 4 points, calling it off. But with the amount of time that's left, 38 points down, not sure how many times Ark Valley can just rely on getting that 4 points and holding Sioux City to 0. 140-102 with 8 minutes, 5 seconds left on the clock. A 38-point difference between the two teams.
Anita Hidovich, number 217 for Ark Valley in the penalty box. So 4-on-3 pack advantage for Sioux City. Charlie Bronson on the line against Mo Payne, number 80 of Sioux City.
And we've got a timeout being called. Time to mention once again, Sticker Giant, the custom sticker experts, official sticker company of ColoradoSports.TV. Check them out at www.stickergiant.com and use the code RollerDerby to check out and get 10% off of your order. And once again, that donate button, help us defray the costs of streaming. It is not free. Internet space is not free. All of this web streaming is not free. If you can throw a couple of bucks our way, we definitely appreciate it. If you can't, by all means, keep watching and spread the word to your friends. Spread the word to your affluent friends. Like, if you happen to be friends with Bill Gates, let him know that he should be clicking on the donate button on ColoradoSports.TV. And we would definitely appreciate it. Otherwise, keep enjoying the great derby action that's being brought to you all weekend long. There is still one about to go after this one. It is the Women's Championship.
Absolutely. If you find some loose change on the ground, we'd love to have that too. Anything you can spare. Everything helps because we love bringing you this. Colorado Sports TV loves bringing you this action, but it all helps the bigger picture, which is the sport roller derby, modern roller derby. There we go. Third place for the Mayday Mayhem on the line. Mo Payne, number 80, behind a 3-wall of Arc Valley. They're down one blocker, but up ahead, Charlie Bronson. Oh, shoulder to shoulder with Canuck You Up, but stays in bounds, gets out for lead jammer. Mo Payne up front, 2-wall, led Betty and Natty Dreadlock. Natty Dreadlock tries a last-ditch effort with a shoulder, can't stop Mo Payne. She gets out, but Charlie Bronson on a scoring pass, dubs all over, almost laying down on top of her. But Charlie Bronson calling off the jam just in time.
Yeah, and
3 points.
Asking for that direction of play call, not coming. Yeah, and I think you were right when you said before that Mo Payne was starting to back off a little bit, possibly worried about her penalty situation. It seems like she is being a little less aggressive, and Arc Valley, because of necessity, being more aggressive. 140 to 105, 6 minutes 50 seconds left in the second period.
No question about that. They've been taking a beating from Sioux City in the first half of the game, and we saw a few jams ago, they were just battering the Dickens out of PBR. But you know what? PBR is back in form, and she's dishing it out. And now gets out for lead jammer, and here we go. Nacho Sleaze gets out. PBR, weighing it back and forth. Am I going to stop her? Am I going to go for it? She decides to just go ahead and call it off. Not going to play any shenanigans this time.
Yeah, it looked like PBR actually got herself a little too close to the pack for her comfort to just kind of keep jostling with the opposing jammer. Still 35 points separating the two teams, 140 to 105, but Arc Valley is winning the second half. They've got more than twice as many points as Sioux City in the second half. 5 minutes, 55 seconds left.
Yeah, it's still a long shot to say Sioux City is struggling, but they do seem to be flagging a little bit. What worked in the first half, not as effective so far in the second half. Charlie Bronson against a 3-wall. Canuck You Up, and dubs with a shoulder sends Charlie Bronson flying. And a high block against Charlie Bronson sends her to the penalty box. Mo Payne races away from Natty Dreadlock, and she's lead jammer now on the power jam. They were tied on power jams and actually close to tying in points too. So Arc Valley also more effective in their power jams in the second half as well. But Mo Payne on her first scoring pass now. A little pirouette around Zoom Flume gets her out. First scoring pass gets her 5. Charlie Bronson now standing up in the penalty box. She'll be rejoining soon, but Mo Payne now on a second scoring pass. Queen LaBeach and Smasher to Smithereens in tandem. Smasher to Smithereens almost using Queen LaBeach as a club, but Mo Payne smashes her way through. Gets the second grand slam. 10 points for Sioux City. Charlie Bronson, though, back on the track. Still on her initial pass, though. She got knocked out when she thought she was seeing daylight on that first pass. So she's not scoring any points right now. Mo Payne driven out of bounds by Smasher to Smithereens. Comes back in at turn 1. Approaching the 3-wall of Arc Valley a little more cautiously, but Charlie Bronson going on a forearm penalty. Another forearm penalty. That's what she got her at the beginning of the jam, whatever you call that. Each Schmidt going to the penalty box as well. But you know what? Mo Payne is used to doing most of the work herself. T. Vicious did come up with a little help, and Mo Payne's going to get through again. 5 more points. That's going to open up a big lead for Sioux City. Brings them to 160, a 20-point jam.
Well, and definitely between the two main jammers for Sioux City, Mo Payne, the more offensive of the two, starting to see late in this game part of why she was able to pull off a 200-point game earlier in this tournament. We are in a timeout with the time at 3:33 on the nose. 160 for Sioux City, 105 for Arc Valley. 55 points it's not impossible, but it's going to be very difficult, especially with that Sioux City defense. And Sioux City has gotten lead slightly more than 50% of the time. Arc Valley, on the other hand, slightly less than 40% of the time. There have been 4 jams with no lead jammer. But Sioux City, again, getting lead, and that's been a big part of their strategy, is being able to keep that lead jam status and milk the clock down, really get it down to almost 0 before the jam clock expires, and then maybe calling it off if they need to, but they're also able to keep Arc Valley from getting any points on their passes.
Yeah, Arc Valley fighting really hard in the second half, very much more effective than in the first half, and I think they actually were seeing Sioux City in their sights, only 35 points behind. But you know that 20-point jam that just scored by Mo Payne had to be demoralizing. That was 2 power jams in a row given up to Sioux City. Charlie Bronson can't be happy with that, but she's got to finish up her penalty. So right now, PBR on the power jam. Delta formation from Arc City. Now Natty Dreadlock drops back to bridge. Anita hit a bitch and led Betty unable to keep her in check. PBR comes around. She's lead jammer. Charlie Bronson coming in from the penalty box. You know, she waited for PBR to go ahead and pass, not because she necessarily had to, but maybe a little bit of respect, because you know PBR, she's a tough skater and she blocks a lot, and you know what, she probably would have just hit Charlie Bronson on general principle as she was coming up, but. There she goes, and there's also the possibility that PBR was inside of the engagement zone in the judgment of the referees. It was an edge call, so actually probably also a wise move in that respect as well by Charlie Bronson. But now the Arc Valley jammer trying to get around Dubs, who gives her a couple of shoulder checks, but really not going for that vicious shot. I think Charlie Bronson trying to avoids the cutting the track. She narrowly did, because Canuck You Up was trying to back it up, but Charlie Bronson stepped in a little bit too quick. But PBR getting through the pack as well, giving chase to Charlie Bronson. And Charlie Bronson just looking over his shoulder and saying, "Why haven't you called it off yet?" And PBR is probably saying, "Because you haven't hit the pack yet."
Well, and some very impressive defense on that jam from Arc Valley. They really limited PBR's ability to get through. I mean, PBR was taking just check after check after check, only put up 5 points, 165 to 105. Sioux City holding the lead, 1 minute, 45 seconds left on that period clock.
And now, so far, a tremendous second half from Arc Valley. But right now, they will need a miracle. They will need something that an unprecedented score, and it is not going to happen in this jam. Mo Payne, well, not likely to happen in this jam. Mo Payne is lead jammer. There goes Shook Me All Night. Number 30 finally completing her initial pass after knocking over T Vicious, an impressive feat in itself. Comes around very quick, catches up to Mo Payne. Actually going to get some points on this one. Comes out of the pack, but of course, Mo Payne could have called it off, but she doesn't really have any need to. She's in a great position right now. She just has to match points and not go to the penalty box pretty much. But in fact, even if she goes to the penalty box, the jam will end the game because there's more jam time than there is time on the period clock. So if Mo Payne just simply opts not to call off the jam early, then this will be the final jam. But so far, matching scoring passes 8-8. Mo Payne on scoring pass number 3 gets almost heaved out of bounds by a double team of Anita Hitabich and Killer B. Now, quick move up the inside. She catches up to Shook Me All Night. So both jammers still matching scoring passes, and that all goes into Sioux City's favor. So far, 12-12. And just a few seconds left on the period clock. Mo Payne's going to look over her shoulder and probably call off the jam any second. There it is. Period clock expires. That's the end of the game. Third place goes to Sioux City, Iowa.
Final score, 181 to 117. Mo Payne just had no incentive in that final jam to call it off early. She had control. Jam started with under 2 minutes to go. Why not just let it go out? Mo Payne came ever so close to breaking the century mark herself. That last jam put her at 96 points for the bout. Second highest score was PBR at 82. No surprise with those two getting such a heavy rotation. Charlie Bronson, 71 for Arc Valley, but no other jammer was able to break that 20-point mark. And, you know, you look at it, Sioux City had the majority of lead jams. They had more power points. They had one more power jam. And after Mo Payne kind of pulled herself back, running into that penalty trouble, it really seemed like Sioux City as a whole, they worked on trying to solidify their defense. They saw Arc Valley creeping back up, but then they just put the hammer down.
Absolutely. Sioux City, third place. They can be very proud of that. That is an achievement. This was a tough game on both sides. Sioux City did dominate the first half by quite a bit, but Arc Valley came back and hit hard and made Sioux City very, very nervous. Came close to turning it, to flipping it on Sioux City. Came within spitting distance anyway. And so Arc Valley can hold their head high. They did Chaffee County, Colorado proud today, coming in fourth, but they made Sioux City work for it.
Yeah, and Sioux City, you know, they were coming off that last second defeat earlier in the day that actually prevented them from trying to get the back-to-back championship. They did win Mayday Mayhem last year. They were looking to repeat. They lost by 1 to Slaughterhouse. And to be able to come back with this result and put up a 64-point spread over Arc Valley, and you know, to be able to sit back and say, Arc Valley's going to put on their best show. We're going to keep putting on the pressure. We're going to absorb what they can give us, and we're going to come back out swinging with every single punch they give. Sioux City just come out on top. The Roller Dames, 181-117 over Arc Valley All-Stars. Fantastic bout. Lots of action, lots of physicality between the two teams. You've been watching Roller Derby here on ColoradoSports.TV. There is one bout left to go. It is the championship bout. That championship bout features Junction City and the host Slaughterhouse Derby Girls. It's going to be a fantastic end to the evening. Stay tuned right here on ColoradoSports.TV. I have been Wilhelm Scream.
And I am still Bulldog. Thank you very much.
Thank you.